Hey everybody, Matt the Master, back with Marvel Heroes, and Mr. Fantastic is out. Oh, there he goes, stretchy, stretchy. And with him being out, so we're doing his preview. And first we'll take a look at costume number 1. Oh, this is his normal Fantastic Four blue costume. And that's pretty good, but more better is his Fantastic Future costume. Yeah, Future Foundation. This is much better. Kind of cool that it came with it. Whole reason I bought the pack, to be honest with you, because I knew I'd wanted this costume. Even though I didn't even know this was going to be the costume, I had a feeling, because I think I saw a picture. Even though they didn't say what the costume was, they still showed a picture of it. So that being said, he starts off pretty decent, actually. He starts off where most characters end. So 3 strength, 3 durability, 2 fighting, 2 speed, 1 energy, 3 intellect. So he's going to grow up pretty good. They don't give you where he ends up anymore. I think he ends up at 5 or 6 durability, so he's a pretty beefy character. Um, as for his skills, he's got his elastic fist, his plasticity, and then his super genius. And these are kind of gadgety type things. And so we're going to start right to left as my usual way to go. We got outwit. And this is a passive that's pretty decent. So you can refresh the cooldowns of all other powers, and you can do that once a minute. It gives you crit rating, gives you damage rating, and that gets kind of substantial at level 60. And your attacks deal 10% more damage for 6 seconds after using a cooldown power. So any power that you have, no matter where or what tree it is, gives you a 10% damage buff, and it stacks up to 3 times. And it keeps refreshing every time you use a cooldown of power. So he's kind of like a strangey type character there, where you want to use those cooldowns. And then every time you crit, you reduce the cooldown of all your cooldown abilities by 1 second. Or brutal strike. Doesn't matter which one. Or brute is technically a crit, so. But I guess they feel they have to terminology that out. You got a gravitron emitter. This is pretty nice. It's basically one of those throw it out there and everything gets sucked into one place. And it deals some damage, and then enemies are vulnerable. 5-second cooldown, so you can do that kind of pretty awesome, pretty frequently. Excuse me. A repulsion field array. This gives you a chance to proc damage every time you are struck to your attacker, and it gives you toughness. I like this because it gives you defense and hit points, and we know I'm a fan of that. And then you got the photonic stimulant field, which gives you a chance to deal damage every time you crit a brutal strike. Gives you a chance, 1 in 5, to deal extra damage. So really, at best, you're looking at 1 in 10 for that extra damage, and it gives you some extra crit and crit damage. These both reduce your maximum spirit, but who really cares? Herbie Assistant. Let's see. This wasn't all too great on the test center, but this also gives you damage negation now, which is alright. 10% damage negated. Gives you Constitution, which basically restores health per second. Comes out for 10 seconds, and it's got a 30-second cooldown, so that's why it kind of sucks. Hyperstatic Inducer. This is pretty nice. You basically throw out a little beam that sticks to a target, and they changed it. It used to stick to the target. Now it sticks to the area, and everything in that area takes damage twice per second. It lasts for 5 seconds. It can do this once every 5 seconds, so it's a cooldown ability. And then a positron emitter. This is kind of weird. You have to have that 3 stacks of damage rating going on outwit here. But once you get that going, you can channel this for 2 seconds to do damage over time. It shoots a beam out, kind of like Iron Man and Miss Marvel, and Cyclops, any of those channeled powers. It's a channeled power. Not a big fan. Plasticity, inflate. This is awesome. It gives you health. It gives you spirit. You can do it once every 10 seconds, and it does damage when you hit the button. It's like a mini medkit. It's pretty awesome. Elastic body. This is a nice little passive buff too. Not only is it a crowd control, the PvP crowd control buff, you know, you get immune for 1.5 seconds to crowd control abilities every 15 seconds. So it's a cooldown ability if you want to hit it. But passively, it gives you defense rating, dodge rating, and a projectile reflection chance. And that reflection chance actually directs that projectile back at the attacker. That never goes up as you put points into it. It always stays at 5% chance. But still, there's nothing like shooting it back at a boss, something they're shooting at you. And a projectile deflection chance, that goes up, and that's just to, you know, not take damage from a projectile. The wheel is his movement ability. He basically turns into the wheel just like the icon looks, and he spins as he moves. It moves a little awkwardly, but it does work. Super Stomp. This is pretty awesome. Okay, they lowered the cooldown a little bit here. This was going all over the place during Test Center. But you basically jump up in the air and you make your feet wicked big and you slam down on things. It does massive damage, has a knockdown, and you can do it every 6 seconds. It's pretty sweet. Spectacular Spheroid. Don't know if this is good yet or not, and I'll tell you why. First off, the damage is phenomenal. It has the potential of being a really awesome signature. However, when you hit the button, it completely changes your UI, so you can only hit this button 5 times. So you have to burn it. So it really, really sucks that you have to use it all 5 times in a row, and you can't save some of those shots for the 15 seconds, because it says can be activated up to 5 times within 15 seconds, but you can't do anything else while in it, at least on Test Center. Don't know if they got rid of that. And it changed your entire icons, including your movement and your basic. Everything went to just being able to hit this button. You could still medkit, though. Let me tell you, that was almost death half the time, especially fighting some bosses where you're just stuck in that mode. It was very terrible. Hopefully they got rid of that. And then the Twister. This is a helicopter move, but you can move around at the same time, so it's a movement, spin, and hit things. Could be quite useful. Now moving over to the Last of Fists. He's going to be a melee character. Hopefully they beefed up his durability as he leveled. That was another problem. As well as some of these moves here left him very vulnerable because... Which one was it? This one right here. You had to do a full second of attacks before it would stop attacking. That was terrible. But Elastipunch, this is a basic attack. It's a ranged attack, kind of like Ghost Rider's long whips there, whip chain. Same type of principle. You can attack from far range, but gives them some crit chance as well. Stretch Dash, he basically stretches across. This is his basic charge. Giant Punch. This deals additional damage per stack of Outwit. So they changed this. This used to be the Stretch Punch, but now this is up to 60% extra damage. However, it has a 5-second cooldown, so it's not like you can continually spam this. Not sure if I'm a fan of that at all. Fantastic Grab is like Flash and Grab on Nightcrawler, except it just reaches out in front of them and pulls everything together. Pretty interesting, and it weakens everything. Stretch Punch. This one will punch bosses for extra damage. Kind of useful. It doesn't do as good as damage as other boss damage attacks, so it's why I'm sounding less enthusiastic about it. It's about 30,000 damage off a second. Other boss attacks from other boss attack characters. Elastic Barrage. This actually will perform just as good as this one, the Stretch Punch. However, it, like I said, was you had to do that full attack second in dealing with a boss that really, really hurt. And then Corkscrew Punch. Anyone who likes charge up abilities and letting them go or just hitting it to do it will probably like this one. The damage wasn't that great though, and the knockdown was not reliable, and the spear cost is pretty high. So, as you can tell, Not a big fan of this tree. Previously on Test Center, I do not know how it will carry out yet. The only thing I can do is play him and find out. And then he's got his signature, and this is a whole lot of energy damage a second and physical damage a second. He just does damage a second, and it's a nasty signature, so it's pretty cool. And that's really it for him. So, hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll get him to 60, and there he goes stretching again. And let's see what we got. Talk to everybody real soon.